Hi guys, Virginia here, and I'm back with another 12 by 12 process video for you today, and this one's for the SpiegelMom Scraps design team, and I'm just flicking through super quickly what sequin mixes I used. Let me see if I can grab them. I've got one in a melon, tropical teals, tweaky teal, and sunflower flight. So I've been kind of stash busting a little bit lately, and I've got these photos of Eddie flying a kite, and then the other one is of the kite in the air. And so I thought I wanted to do something a little bit different. So I've grabbed this stitching cut file. It also comes with a cut file shape of a kite, but I didn't use the kite cut file because I fussy cut some of these kites from the 6x8 and the 12x12 papers from the Maggie Holmes carousel collection. So we're going way back a little bit, but yeah, I thought that would be kind of a fun way to embellish this page. But anyway, the cut file comes with some stitching holes. It's called Stitch Kite Trails, and it's got a whole lot of little swirly lines. I did hold it up and you really can't see it, but trust me, they're there, and they're a great way to kind of embellish the page. So I thought I would stitch a whole lot of sequins on. So I've got some white embroidery thread. I've got all 6 strands, and I'm just going through, and about every third kind of set of stitching I'm adding a sequin, and there we go. Look at that, how pretty. I've done a chain link stitch as well, just in case you were wondering what kind of stitch it was. Okay, so I'm just deciding whether I want to turn it a different way, but I inevitably end up just keeping it the way that it is in the cut file. So I'm going to quickly just layer my photos with some pattern paper from the 6x8 paper pad. Just do one layer, I think, and that's it. I want to kind of keep it nice and soft because this collection, well, the pieces that I've chosen are quite nice and soft, and I really want those sequins to shine on this layout, so I don't want to add too much to it. Okay, so I'm going to kind of stack them. I want that one, the photo of the kite, to be kind of up slightly above the other photo, so it's as though that's the kite floating up there in the sky. Well, it is, but you know. I want the photos to make sense and their positioning on the page. So I'm just adding a little bit of foam behind my photos, and I'm not sure what I'm doing here, fussing around. I'm going to start to kind of place my fussy cut kites around the page. So where the photos are on the cut file, when you get the cut file, that's where the kite is, so I think that's probably why I chose not to use the kite, but I thought that was a good position for my photos. So yeah, and like I said, I've fussy cut some kites out, so I'm just kind of positioning them. I'm adding a whole bunch around the photo. I like the idea of that, and then a couple are just kind of trailing off those stitching lines, which I really like the look of. But I'm thinking, I'm looking at the background paper, I've got a thing with framing layouts lately, and I contemplated a colour, but I don't have a lot of papers left from this collection, so I decided to go with white. And I really like it in the end. It's a nice kind of fit. It matches with that white embroidery thread, and it just kind of tones everything down. I mean, that pattern paper is it's a really soft peachy colour, but it's still very in your face peachy. So yeah, so I've just trimmed 1/4 inch off each side of that peach paper, and I am going to mount it on some white cardstock, just to border it, just to frame it all. Add a bit of softness. So I'm popping A-to-G tape all over that white cardstock, and then I can kind of place that pattern paper on top, and that feels so much better already. Just kind of lightens everything up on the layout for me. So I can pop everything back in place, if I can kind of remember where they go. Just kind of adding those kites in. Another one down the bottom. And I end up switching them and popping that pink one up there. I like that a little bit better. Then I don't end up with two kites that are the same pattern beside each other. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pop these all up on adhesive foam. I apologise for the voiceover as well if I've got a croaky kind of voice. I've had the flu for a week. It's still kind of going. I'm getting there slowly. But yeah. Okay, so just some foam squares. I'm just kind of positioning them in appropriate places so that that stitching can kind of fit underneath the kites easily. Same for this one. Just trying to work out where I need to pop the foam squares. There's really not a lot to this layout. The stitching took a wee while, maybe an hour and a half, just kind of sitting at my desk stitching away. I think I had Grey's Anatomy on my computer playing, so I was watching that, and just sat there and stitched on some sequins. It's nice, very therapeutic, I think. Much more so than fussy cutting for me, but we won't go into that. Okay, so I'm going to adhere down all these kites in my photos. Pop a little bit of foam behind this one that's propped up, just so that it stays in line with that photo. Going to do this little light pink one, and all the little trails, some of them I'm going to glue directly to the pattern paper, and other ones I'm just going to cut some tiny little foam squares and just kind of pop them strategically behind the little ribbons on the tails, and that's going to keep them propped up off the page. So just going to go ahead and do that. I think I only do about 2 on each of them. Just do this little one down here. I probably could have cut this out for you. But then again, if I did that, this video would be incredibly short. So, yeah. At least you get to look at the pretty sequins. Okay, just finishing up this pink one. Same with this blue one, or green one. Okay, add some foam squares behind this blue one up the top, because that one is dimensional. Pop them in place, and just this little green one up here to do, and then I'm all done. There we go. Clean up my mess, and I'm just going to trim off those kites that are hanging off the edge of the page as well. Get rid of them. I'm going to add some splatters of some white Liquitex acrylic ink all over the background. I find that that helps to kind of break things up as well. If you've got something that's really kind of in your face on the background, white splatters really tone it down. Yeah, not sure why, but they do for me. They kind of just break it up a bit. Rightio, so I've done that. And I'm just cleaning off my little board. I think I go away and get a paper towel. That's the only thing. I've got this new Tim Holtz glass media mat, and it's great for keeping my desk clean, but if I use a wet wipe on it, I have to go and then get a paper towel to dry it before I put my layout on it. But never mind. It's great for keeping my desk clean. So I'm just going to flick through some of the embellishments for this collection. The stickers that I'm just pulled the label off there, that's actually from Chasing Dreams. I don't know how it ended up in this lot of stuff, but that's okay. I just popped that little label there. I'm going to bring in some tiny word stickers. That puffy sticker camera was from Chasing Dreams as well, but I ended up taking it off the layout. I just didn't quite like the look of it, and I replaced it with a bow shortly. Another little half label, just to bring some colour, break up those sharp lines around the photo. And I'm just having a quick look through some chipboard. This is 12 by 12 chipboard for confetti from crepe paper. So I've pulled off a little pole with some flags on it, so I've just popped that up there just for some interest. And there we go, my camera's gone. I've just popped a little chipboard bow. Just seeing what else I can add. I'm thinking about using these stickers, but I don't. I really want to add more to the page, but I guess I'm subconsciously telling myself that I really don't need to. Those sequins are doing the job for me. They're such a nice detail to the layout. It's such a little whimsical feeling that I really don't need it. So everything I'm looking at is just, it's in my mind not working, so it doesn't go in the layout. I tried that large ribbon epoxy sticker, but it was just too big. It was dominating, and so I ended up switching it for the smaller one, and that's going to be my title. It says Magical Moments, which I thought was quite appropriate. So I'm going to pop that up on some foam squares and just pop that in place. It sits nicely there to the right of my photo. Pop a little bit of glue behind my word stickers and stuff that I've popped down. Glue behind my banner. And that's it. So don't forget to use the code Virginia15 at the SpiegelMom Scrap shop. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the process, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.